जागो 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 कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। सहस्त्रार में आके, सहस्त्रार में आके छू ही लेंगे वो हम आसमां। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। मूलाधार में तुम बैठी हो माँ, सदियों से तुम सोई हुई। मूलाधार में तुम बैठी हो माँ, सदियों से तुम सोई हुई। इच्छा हुई पाले तुझको, इच्छा हुई पाले तुझको। हासिल हो तुम जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। समा जाओ माँ मज्जा में अभी, सभी चक्र तुम निरंजित करो। समा जाओ माँ मज्जा में अभी, सभी चक्र तुम निरंजित करो। गणेशा स्वयं पूजे तुझको, गणेशा स्वयं पूजे तुझको। शरण में तेरी जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। सोई आत्मा में प्रकाश भरो, जो बिखरे हैं चित्त एकत्रित करो। सोई आत्मा में प्रकाश भरो, जो बिखरे हैं चित्त एकत्रित करो। तभी दूर होंगे अंधेरे, तभी दूर होंगे अंधेरे। रोशनी में तेरी जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। सहस्त्रार में आके, सहस्त्रार में आके छू ही लेंगे वो हम आसमां। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, करो सब पे कृपा। जागो कुंडलिनी माँ, कृपा करो, सब पे कृपा करो, सब पे कृपा।
Shree Mataji to everyone. A very warm welcome to one and all for this evening's session. As you all know, we have been conducting these sessions daily for the past 1.5 years now, since the first lockdown came into play, and thousands of you have joined us through Zoom and YouTube now. The idea is really that we get all of you introduced to Sahaja Yoga, the basics of what it is, who Shree Mataji is, what's meditation really, and what is the expectation and what is the experience of meditation in Sahaja Yoga. So we are having these 3 sessions daily, and one in the morning at 8, one in the afternoon at 4:15, and one this in the evening 7:45. And only on Saturdays we are having a session in English for those of you who requested that we do not understand Hindi so well, so please have a session in English. So this is the one that we have in English. What we're going to do in the next hour or so is first briefly talk about what Sahaja Yoga is and how is it different. That's one of the first questions that we have in mind. We'll talk about the subtle systems inside us, subtle chakras and nadis, and we'll go for the meditation session post that. We would be happy if you have any questions, so you can take them towards the end of the session. You can join Zoom for discussing, or you could drop questions in YouTube chat. Apart from questions, we'd be happy to hear any experiences also that you would be having to share. So Sahaja Yoga is all about experiencing. This is not a course. It is not an organization. There is no time period to say that now you have got it, now you are a Sahaja Yogi after these many days or after these many sessions or any other parameter like that. The point is that it's something that is the reality that actually happens inside you, and you have to practice daily in and out to keep it going. What does it really mean? What's the happening? What's the actualization that you're talking about? So the word yoga is really it means the union. Now, most of the other organizations or what we know in the name of yoga would get lost with this word because there is no real talk of union, and the union of whom? The Atma with the Paramatma. Nobody really talks about how that would happen. So that is what is yoga. And there are various things going on in the name of yoga. And the reason behind them is somewhat people have grasped some of the aspects of what all needs to be done to get to yoga. So on those aspects, they have been building things. For example, Patanjali Yoga, Patanjali, who was the first who talked about yoga in our great nation of spirituality, he laid out 8 steps, Ashtanga Yoga. One of them was, for example, asana. So the idea was that you make yourself perfect, you do yam, niyam, discipline yourself, pratyahar, all of those things, and also asana, so that you are physically also fit. The last step was Ishwar Pranidhana. So you do all of that tapasya, all of that penance, all of that disciplining, and then you go for yoga. So now a lot of people have started thinking that doing asanas is doing yoga, which is not the case. And yoga is not to be done actually. Yoga is something that happens spontaneously. So what's the word Sahaj? The word Sahaj essentially means spontaneous, something that is very simple, that happens on its own, that is spontaneous, and you do not do anything for that. For example, our breathing. All the living processes like the blossoming of a flower, and it turning into a fruit. All of these are living things, living processes, real, actual things happening in living bodies, done by the living God, by his living power, who understands, who loves, who takes care of everything. So when we say it's something that actually happens, that is spontaneous, that is Sahaj, that is yoga. That is the reason why Shree Mataji started this as Sahaj yoga. So something that happens spontaneously, you do not really do anything for that. And the yoga, which is the divine, which is the union with the divine, that actualization happening inside us. When that happens, what is to be expected? So the divine union with the divine, what it really gives us is, for the very first time, we start feeling the all-pervading power of God. We say that he's all around us, he's inside us, but we do not really feel him. So in meditation, you start feeling them. We'll talk about how. And slowly and steadily, when his power starts flowing through you, you can take your life decisions with them. You can make your life better. Even the physical problems, many of them get better in Sahaj Yoga. We've seen hundreds of examples of people getting better. Overall, life gets much more balanced, and the let's say the societal, familial, monetary, physical, all sorts of issues, slowly and steadily they start getting resolved in our lives. So it becomes a much better life because we become somebody who's connected with the divine, and his power starts flowing through us. So it's a very, very different life altogether after that. But we are normal people, people living in households that practice Sahaj Yoga. It's not that you go and start living in the mountains and start doing tapasya or penances or anything. Shree Mataji said that it's only for the grahasthas. And it's been promised in so many scriptures over thousands of years that something like this will happen. I always like to talk about the Nal Damayanti Akhyam, Shree Mataji has mentioned, where the story is about King Nal. Thousands of years ago, he was separated from his wife by Kali, whose times we are in, Kali Yuga. And he said that he caught up with Kali and he said that I'll kill you because you are the one who was so bad, who has separated me from my wife. And Kali said, sure, please go ahead, but first listen to what's my importance. Nal said that what could be your importance? You are so bad. And he said that when my time will come, people would be in utmost, in the Ghor Kali Yuga, the worst times ever. They will be really confused. The word is Bhranti. We even in Devi's worshipping, we call her as Bhranti Rupen Sanstita. So there would be a lot of confusion in this world. And in that confusion, the Grahast people living in Grahast ashramas, they would go out and search for God and they will find him. They will get their realizations. After hearing that, Nal left Kali because he had such an important thing planned out. So these are the times that have been promised. I mean, that's just one example. So many others have talked about something that will happen to us, which will make our lives better. Now, what could it possibly be? What could it be that could make the humanity as a whole a much better race? So we've come to a very high point of our consciousness getting evolved up to this stage. There's so many things as collectively we have decided as human beings that this is good, that this is not good. We have created so many things. We are so intellectually raised. What's the next thing that's going to happen, which is going to be the breakthrough for us, which will really elevate us? That is Kundalini awakening. That is our realization. That is our connection with the divine, which would be the last step of our human evolution. So what we'll do now is quickly just talk about our internal subtle system. We'll have a chart coming up in front of the screen now, which will make it easier for us to discuss that. From the outside, we all look very different, of different colors. We have made castes of different religions, different geographies, we all look very different, but from the inside, we are all pretty much the same. And the God's power that created us has created subtle centers and nadis inside us. We'll just quickly talk about that. Siddhi, could you please bring that up? So in the meantime, I'll continue. So what happens is that when we are in our mother's womb, God's power, whatever name we want to call it by, Param Chaitanya, Brahma Chaitanya, Ruh, whatever name you can give it, it enters inside us through our fontanelle bone area, which is on the top of the head, the very flower kind of lotus kind of thing that we see here on the top of the head. So we know that in children, that's the area that's very soft and it pulsates. The energy enters from this place and it creates these 3 main channels and 7 main centers inside us. These nadis and centers are the ones that control, or rather govern, everything in us on physical level, emotional level, mental level, even spiritual level. So essentially, we are governed by these centers and nadis. And they, the Kundalini gives them the power to function. After creating all of this, the residual energy, it comes down and it settles in our, at the end of our spine, in a sacrum bone. It's a triangular bone called a sacrum by the Greeks. And incidentally, sacrum means sacred. So they probably knew something was of a higher nature here, sacred power. So this power is called as Kundalini. And the reason is that it forms 3.5 coils. So the word coil, the word for coil in Sanskrit is Kundal. And this being a mother power is called as Kundalini Shakti. When we say it's our mother power, what does that mean? She has been there with us through all our lives. So we have been in so many lives here on this earth, and the mother power of Kundalini has been with us. She knows everything about us. Everything is recorded there. And she is the one who will give us our second birth. What does that mean as second birth? Is our self-realization. So, for example, in Christianity, it has been called out that you must get your second birth. And one of the disciples of Christ asked, how is that possible? And Christ said, what's born of the flesh would be of flesh. It's about the spirit. So there are many other references on this. For example, a bird is called as Dvijaha, twice born. Means at first it's like an egg. It comes into the world like an egg, and then it becomes a bird. So there are 2 steps of it. A Brahmin actually is also called as Dvijaha, but the real Brahmin is one who's got his realization. Not everyone is a Brahmin. So this is the power, this is the mother power that gives us our second birth. And she is waiting for us to ask for it, to go for it, and to find and search how to get it. What we'll do is now quickly just talk about the 3 main nadis and centers inside us, and then we'll go for the meditation session. On the left-hand side, the blue one that we see is called as the Ida Nadi. It's called also the moon channel. It governs our left sympathetic nervous system. This channel is responsible for our past. So everything about us of the past is also settled here. And if we are somebody who's always talking about the past, thinking about the past, oh, this didn't happen, that was so bad, this, that, somebody who's always depressed, or somebody who's very, very emotional, is someone who's working too much on this channel. When we do any kind of excess, in Sahaja Yoga, we understand that any kind of excess leads to some bad things. They could be in the physical, in the emotional, in the mental, whatever. So psychosomatic diseases, incurable diseases come to us when we are too much on the left channel. Similarly, on the right channel which is called as the Pingala Nadi, is also called as the sun channel. is responsible for all our future thoughts. So on the right that you see, the yellow one, that is responsible for uh, our future. So if you are somebody who's very futuristic, who's always thinking about the future too much, then we are someone who's very much on this channel. People who are very aggressive, very egoistic, all the time planning, thinking, working even physically or mentally, sitting on the desk, working too much. They could also be working too much on this channel, and there could be some imbalances in their lives because of the heat that generates from the overusage of the Pingla Nadi. Siti, if you could move to the next slide. Yes. So after, so what happens in Sahaja Yoga is during meditation, we feel the centers and the state of the nadis on our hands, on our palms. So we can feel the state of the left channel on our left palm, the state of the right channel on our right palm. The third channel, the central one, is called as the Sushumna Nadi. This channel is in between the two, so it's neither past nor the future. This is about the center, the present. So many of religions talk about being in the present and being in the balance. Especially Buddha has talked about that. And what's the point of that? The point of that is that Kundalini rises through the central channel, the Sushumna Nadi inside us. And that is the path that we need to be in for getting our self-realization. So if we are someone who has led a very balanced life, doesn't do any kind of extremities or excesses of anything, then we are somebody who can easily get the realization. And many people whom we think are very simple people or are not, let's say, very, very learned or very intellectually, very high, easily get to Sahaja Yoga and get their realization because they are not very complex and they are not very muddled up in their heads. So in Sahaja Yoga, it's clear that you do not have to be somebody of any particular type or somebody who's very, let's say, very, very learned or somebody who's very well-to-do in life. In fact, people who are of a balanced nature in every aspect are the ones who are sure to get it very easily. So we'll quickly just talk about these 7 centers inside us. So the first one at the very bottom is called as the Muladhara Chakra. This is where we are sitting on the ground, the first point of contact with the earth. And this is the place of Sri Ganesha. And we know that we worship not the first, but what's the reason is this, that he is on the first center. And in Sahaja Yoga, we understand that all of these centers inside us are governed by various deities who have some qualities. They have taught us through their incarnations, some of them. And when we go against those qualities is when we ruin that chakra. And when the chakra gets ruined, we can get diseases on the physical side or mental problems, something or the other. So when we say we worship all the deities of all the religions, all the prophets, we really mean that we follow them, what they have taught, and not just do their pujas. So for example, Sri Ganesha is representing innocence. He is the eternal child and wisdom and Mangal Mehta and Pavitrata, piousness, chastity, all those qualities. So if we go against them, that is when this chakra goes off. So we go against him in any form in sex, then this chakra goes off. Or if we are very, very cunning people, then this chakra can also go off. When this chakra gets raised, gets awakened, Sri Ganesha gets awakened here, we develop great amount of wisdom. We become the source of all the Mangal Mehta in the world. This chakra gives, when we say it gives wisdom, it's very important in children. They know in their lives what's right, what's wrong, where to go, where not to go, what to do, what not to do. You don't need to tell them firsthand. This chakra we can feel on our hands. So we have shown the positions on the left hand side. Also on the palms, you can see the number 1 where it's written, where the hand meets the palm. That is the position of Muladhara Chakra on both left and right. So every chakra has 3 parts to it: left, right, and center. So uh, they get caught up on each side because of different reasons, and we can cure them in Sahaja Yoga once we know in meditation which chakra is getting caught up. And we'll talk about how we know in meditation. After this comes the Swadisthana Chakra, which is governed by Shri Brahmadev Saraswati. Them being the creators of this universe, give us the creative powers of all kinds inside us. Could be in any form, not just art and music and dance and all of that, which of course they give, but also in our daily lives, in our work, in our jobs. We become somebody who's very dynamic and creative. This chakra goes off due to several reasons. On the left hand side, it can go off if we go to some tantra mantra, do some wrong things like that. On the right hand side, this chakra goes off if we are someone who's doing a lot of mental or physical activities. This is the place from where the right channel inside us originates. So actually, we do all our thinking process from our Swadhisthana chakra. So this is the chakra which provides the fat cells, which gets converted into the gray cells in our heads and do the thinking for us. And if the chakra is doing that too much, it's not able to take care of the other organs inside us, like the pancreas or the liver, and then they start going off. So it's the people who think or plan too much are the ones who get diabetes or liver troubles. We can feel this chakra on our thumbs, both our thumbs. When it gets awakened, we have seen a lot of people getting really, they burst out with a lot of creative artistic powers in Sahaja Yoga. After this comes the Navi Chakra, which is the green one. And this chakra is governed by Sri Lakshmi Narayan. They are the ones who take care of our complete benevolence. They are the ones who take care of us in the form of, let's say, when we say family, monetary issues, all those. There are 10 Lakshmis around this chakra. All of them give us several boons. So also, this chakra is responsible for our seeking. So one part is about our benevolence. We become generous when this chakra is awakened, and we become gracious towards others, great hosts. The other part is about evolution and seeking. So we know that Sri Vishnu has taken so many incarnations, and he's the one who has evolved us up to the human stage, right from Matsya Avatar to Kashyap Avatar to Krishna, and so many in between. So our evolution has happened because of him, and our seeking also is because of him. So, for example, the Lakshmi Tattva really is about seeking something that we need to fulfill our needs. So, at animal stage, we were looking at food, shelter, other things like that. As we evolved to human beings, we have started searching for higher things, maybe family, maybe money, maybe power, something like that. So all of that eventually leads into the seeking for the God, the divine. So that seeking is actually coming to us from Navi Chakra. So it's of utmost importance if you understand Sahaja Yoga. This chakra can go off, of course, if we are somebody who's very miserly, and if we have family troubles, monetary troubles, all of that, this chakra goes off. We can feel it on our middle fingers, the longest fingers on both the hands. Dissatisfactions of any kinds can also lead troubles with this chakra. Around this is called the Bhav Sagara. The green circle that we see here is called as Bhav Sagara. It's written as void in English. We have heard the reference of Bhav Sagara in many bhajans and things like that. And we say that Devi is the one who takes us across the Bhav Sagara. So this is the place where the master principle is established by several incarnations of the master principle. 10 such main incarnations are placed here, like Shirdi Sainath, Zoroaster, Moses, Lao Tse, Guru Nanak, Muhammad Sahib, and so many others like them, who have come on this earth in various different places and various different times. And according to the times and societies that there were, they taught people what to do, what not to do. And they established certain things inside us, which we call as the dharma, the religion. What they established was the true religion, not the one that we follow of Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, all of that. So the true religion has been established inside us in our stomach. And when we see something very horrible which goes against the religion, we start puking. So that actually proves that this is the place where our religion is established. We can feel this on around our center of the palms on both sides. Sometimes in meditation, people feel like something is moving in that region. This chakra can go off if we have accepted some wrong people as our gurus. So that is also very detrimental to our ascent in Sahaja Yoga. After this comes the Anhat Chakra, the heart chakra, we can call it. And this is where in the center we have the mother of the universe, Jagadamba sitting here, Ma Durga. And she takes us across the Bhav Sagara. She's the one who protects her bhaktas from this mire and from Rakshasas, the devils of the world. She gives us that sense of security, the confidence that she's there taking care of us and everything will be all right. This is the place where our antibodies are also formulated in the early years in our childhood. And she's the one who governs them. So our sense of security is established here. If that is somehow challenged, let's say there's a woman who doesn't feel secure with the husband or the family, it's possible that she develops breast cancer. Children who get very, very sick very, very often are the ones who do not feel secure or safe or are afraid of something. On the left-hand side is the place of the spirit, the Atma. What is Atma? Atma in all of us is the reflection of Paramatma, the divine, the God, whatever you may call it, is the place of Shiva Parvati inside us. Of course, there's the place of love and compassion, because we know, when we truly know that everybody is the same as us, the Atma, then we really start loving. And it's not a mental conception. On the right-hand side is the place of Sri Sitaram, the Maryada Purushottams, who established all kinds of Maryadas and relationships in our lives as the ideal father, son, husband, king. When we go against any of those Maryadas, this chakra can get caught up. Similarly, on the left-hand side is the place of the mother, right is father. We can feel this chakra on our small fingers on both the hands. And yeah, so moving forward, the next chakra is called the Vishuddhi Chakra. This is the place for Sri Radha Krishna inside us. And they've established so many things in us, in our beings. When we say a chakra gets awakened, we really get the qualities of that particular deity sitting there. So, for example, Sri Krishna was so sweet, so madhurya he had. And in all our communication, for example, our hands are governed by this chakra. So we do some part of communication with hands. Our ENT, our face, everything is governed by this chakra. So all our communication becomes so sweet with others when this chakra gets awakened. And not just communication, when we do talk about communication, it's also about being collective. So we become a very, very collective person, a samuhik person. And for example, things like Ras and Holi, he established those things which are very collective things in human beings. When we're talking about Vishuddhi Chakra, some of the deeper qualities here are of the Sakshi Bhav that he talked about in Gita. So when this chakra gets established, awakened inside us, we develop a witness state and we can see the whole world as a Leela like he did. This chakra has several other qualities. Why it can go off, we'll quickly talk about that, is on the left-hand side if we are feeling very guilty all the time. Oh, I am so bad, I did this, I'm no good, I'm so useless. If we talk down on us, then this chakra can go off. And when that happens, we don't feel the experience in Sahaja Yoga as we should. So in meditation, we feel the vibrations, the Param Chaitanya on our hands. We don't feel that if we are doing this, if this chakra gets caught up. So it's very important, and we say in meditation that I'm not guilty, and we let Mother be the judge. On the right hand side, this chakra can go off if we are always down talking others, telling bad things to others, abusing, shouting at others. Also, if we take tobacco in any shape and form, this chakra goes off and we do not feel the vibrations in meditation. There is a lot to talk about each chakra, but we're just covering them quickly. After this comes the Vishuddhi Chakra, the Agya Chakra, which is placed at the very place where we place our bindi or our tilak. And this is the place inside us, inside our brain, we can say, where is the optic thalamus. There's a crossing of the two channels here. Even on the physical side, we know that. And this is the place where it's a very constricted path for Kundalini to pass through, because we can see that the three nadis cross over. And it's a very, very constricted path. So this is governed by three incarnations who all talked about forgiving others, who were Jesus Christ, Gautam Buddha, Mahavir. All of their lives, miracles, and teachings have been about the ability to forgive others. And unless we do that, this chakra does not open up. That is the main quality of Agya Chakra, forgiveness. From this chakra, after this, we can see that there are two balloon-like things that are opening up. They're called as ego and superego. They get formulated in our lives because of whatever we do. So if we are somebody who's very futuristic, ambitious, working too much, we end up developing ego. It's a byproduct of all our actions. Whereas if we are somebody who's on the left-hand side, who's got a lot of learnings, conditioning set up in their minds, then the superego develops. One or the other of these two is always putting the other down in our brains. And they're constricting the path, they're stopping the path for Kundalini to pass through. But as we forgive on the Agya Chakra, Kundalini crosses through this and it sucks out the ego and superego inside us, and it forms the path for it to cross through and cross over the last chakra inside us, the Sahasrara Chakra. So that is the last gate. So we'll just quickly talk about Sahasrara Chakra. So the name itself gives out 1,000-petaled chakra. So there are 1,000 nerves crossing here. There are different number of nerves crossing through each chakra, which is in the medical science, we know them to be the plexuses on the subtle. So these chakras are on the subtle, and on the gross, they are represented as the plexuses. So Sahasrara Chakra is the last one, the breakthrough that has to happen for us to get our union with the divine. This is called as the Brahmarandra, which literally means the whole of the divine. This is where Kundalini passes through, and the Param Chaitanya, the all-pervading power of God, starts flowing through us, into us from here. And it gives the power to all the chakras, all the nadis. It balances out everything inside us. And it gives us our self-realization. And we, for the very first time, we know that we are connected with the divine. When this happens, we feel the vibrations flowing through our hands. And what is that? Is that we start feeling the cool breeze. It's described in Saundarya Lahari, a book written by Adiguru Shankaracharya. And he has described that when Mother's blessings dawn upon us, we feel the Param Chaitanya as Salilam Salilam, he has called it. That is cool breeze. In Bible, of course, it's written that when Holy Ghost would come, you would feel the cool breeze. Now, the problem is that we cannot connect Holy Ghost with Kundalini. Similarly, in Quran, it's written as when Qiyamah's time would come, your hands will speak and they will give witness against you. How can hands possibly speak? Because we know that they have all written the truth. So all of that gets, for the very first time, it gets validated in Sahaja Yoga, how and what they were telling, all of these great saints and incarnations. So when the Kundalini breaks through the Sahasrara, vibration starts flowing through us and we feel them on our hands. Also, we feel the status of the chakras. So whichever chakras are not all right, we feel some unpleasant feelings on those fingers, some like tinglings or maybe heat coming out from there. And when it's all okay, we feel the cool vibrations coming out. Sometimes people get their hands a little bit, they become a little heavy or some other sensation like that. All of that decoding is available to us in Sahaja Yoga by Shree Mataji, and we know what all chakra is not okay, and then we can cure it. There are ways and methods to cure them in Sahaja. So this is all the theory part of it, and this is all the explanation of our internal subtle system. Now the main part which has to happen is meditation. And what we do in Sahaja Yoga is first we balance ourselves out and clear out some of the obvious problems that we all have, and then ask for realization from Shree Mataji. So we know that we have been made from the 5 elements: water, earth, and fire, sky, and air. So we use all of them in Sahaja Yoga in different shapes and formats to clear ourselves out. We'll use some of them now, and always in meditation we keep a diya or a candle in front of us and in front of Shree Mataji's photograph to meditate. So what we'll do is just first see the steps here, and once we see them here, after that we'll close our eyes and do meditation with our eyes closed. So in the first step, we have to keep our left palm open in our lap, and the right palm, we have to place it on the Mother Earth. We'll have some prayers here. The next step, we'll bring the right hand into our lap and put the left hand towards the sky, and again we'll have some prayers here. In the next step, we'll put both our hands on the Mother Earth. Now we'll bring both our hands into our lap, and the next steps all have to be done with our right hand. So we'll place the right hand on our heart, where is the place of the spirit inside us, as we just saw. After this, we have to place this hand on our forehead like we would when we would have a headache, and press from both sides. In the next step, we have to put our hand at the back of the head where we place the pillow and push back our head. In the last step, we have to stretch our palm completely and pull the fingers back, and the center of the palm has to go on the top of the head. Here, we will move our scalp with our palm without raising the palm, just moving the scalp while pushing down on the head. This is it. These are all the steps. Now Shree Mataji's photograph would come in front of you. So it's easy to understand that just doing some steps and doing some prayers will not give us our realization. And we're talking about something very, very big here, the highest of the highest. So what is it that will give us our realization? Siddhi, if you could put up Shree Mataji's photograph, please. So as it has been talked about, I'll just give a reference of Ramdas Swami, from whom Shivaji Maharaj once asked about this, that how long does it take to get a realization, and how does it happen? So he said it happens takshan, means that very second. You just need someone who can give it and somebody who can take it. So Shree Mataji is here to give it to us. A photograph emits those vibrations that can raise our Kundalini. We just have to be humble about it and ask for it most graciously. So a photograph is extremely valuable and very, very important to us. We have to be very humble and really have to ask for it very humbly to Shree Mataji. Look at her photograph and pray to her that, Mother, please give me my realization today. We'll slowly close our eyes while looking at her photograph. Make sure that we are neither slouching nor sitting very, very straight. We have to be in a balanced position. Our palms are to be kept open in our laps, and all our attention has to be inside. Just have to forget about the rest of the world for some time. Now we'll do the steps that we had just seen. We'll put our right hand on the Mother Earth. Here we have to say, Mother, please take out all the impurities of my Ida Nadi. Mother, please take out all the negativities and impurities of my Ida Nadi through the Mother Earth. Mother, please bring my left channel into complete balance. We have to keep our attention on both the palms and just see what is happening there. We bring our right hand back into our lap. Put the left hand towards the sky, bent from our elbow. Here we have to say, Mother, please clear out my Pingla Nadi. Mother, please take out all the impurities and negativities of my Pingla Nadi through the sky element, ether element. Mother, please bring my right channel into complete balance. Again, we'll keep our attention on both the palms. We'll bring both of our hands on the Mother Earth. Keep both the palms on the Mother Earth. Here we have to say, Mother, whatever negativities or impurities are left in my Ida and Pingla Nadis, please clear them out through the Mother Earth. Mother, please clear out my Ida and Pingla Nadis. Mother, please bring me into balance, into the center. Mother, please bring me on the Sushumna Nadi in the present. Now we'll bring both of our hands in our laps and place the right hand. Now all the next steps would be with the right hand. We'll place the right hand on our heart, which is the place of the spirit inside us. Here, in all of us, lies the reflection of the Almighty God as the Spirit. We have to state a fact here with full confidence. Mother, I am the pure Spirit. Mother, I am the pure Spirit. I'm not this body, mind, ego, conditionings, identity, whatever we know ourselves by. We can say, Mother, I am not this, not this, not this. I am the pure Spirit. And that's the reality. One more thing we have to state here, that Mother, as I am the Spirit, I am not guilty at all. We talked about it, how it's important to say this with full confidence. Just leave it to the Mother to judge you. Mother, as I am the Spirit, I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Now we place this hand on our forehead and place it across and press from both sides as we would when we would have a headache. Here we have to say that, Mother, I forgive everyone. We do not think of anyone in particular, but give a general forgiveness to everyone. And it's very important that we do so, otherwise this chakra just doesn't open up. Anyways, if we don't forgive, we do not do anything actually. But when we do forgive, God takes over. So, Mother, I forgive everyone. To say it from your heart. Mother, I forgive everyone. I also forgive myself. Now we bring this hand on the back of the head, where we place the pillow and push back our head towards the sky. Here we have to say for our own satisfaction that, oh Lord, oh God, if we have committed any mistake against you, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive us. Oh God, if I have committed any sin, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. Now the last step, we have to place the right hand on the top of the head by pushing back the fingers and just placing the center of the palm on the fontanelle bone. We have to press hard here. While pressing, we have to move our scalp in a clockwise direction. Shree Mataji says that she cannot go against our freedom that is God gifted to us. So we have to really ask for it to get it. Unless we ask, we won't get it. So we'll press our scalp and move the scalp in a clockwise direction and pray each time that, Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me Atma Sakshatkar. Mother, please give me the union with the divine, the yoga. Mother, please let me feel the divine vibrations, the all-pervading power of the Almighty God. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Bring the hand back gently into our lap and keep our attention at the top of the head where our hand was. And just sit in silent meditation for half a minute. We'll bring our attention to both of our palms. On the center of the palm and see if there is a cool breeze coming out. Also, we'll bring our attention to the tips of our fingers and see if there is some tingling sensation or heat or cool breeze coming out. Now we'll again bring the right hand on the top of the head where we had just placed it and raise it a couple of inches above the fontanelle bone area. We can move it a little bit left, right, and back, and we'll feel that from a very particular place, we'll feel cool breeze coming out of our head and hitting our hand palm. Could be hot as well. We'll bring the right hand back into our lap and see the same from our left hand. Just raise the hand a little bit above the fontanelle bone area and see. Bring the hand back into our lap. As a last step, we'll put both of our hands up towards the sky, palms open upwards, and ask one of these three questions 3 times. Mother, is this the Param Chaitanya? Mother, is this the divine power that has created the whole world? Mother, is this power of love of God? In answer, the sensations would improve on your hands. Bring the hands back gently into your lap. Keep our attention on our Sahasrara, the fontanelle bone, top of the head, and sit in meditation for a minute. You will find that there are no thoughts right now. This is the first state, first blessing of self-realization, thoughtless awareness, where we go beyond thoughts. We slowly open our eyes and look at Shree Mataji's photograph. We'll find that we can still be in meditation and in thoughtlessness while looking at her photograph. Bring both our hands in a pranam namaskara to Shree Mataji and thank her for this blissful state of meditation. Those of you who have joined us recently, I would urge you to continue attending these sessions for some time to really establish this experience and understand more clearly what it is that we're talking about here. The main part is you have to really experience it to know it. And that is the only way to understand Sahaja Yoga. This is just the germination part, sprouting of the seed, the very, very initial stage. And it has to grow much more with daily meditation and some more techniques that Shree Mataji has told us in Sahaja Yoga about for protecting us and cleaning ourselves out. Siddhi will now let you know about how to learn about them. Jai Shree Mataji, over to you.
Jai Shree Mataji. If anyone of you have any question or wants to share any experience, please write down on the YouTube live chat, or you can also join the Zoom meeting. Links are provided in the YouTube live chat window. And also we do have our WhatsApp group onto which we share all the techniques and all the knowledge shared by Shree Mataji. So you can join that group as well. The link of that is also provided in the YouTube live chat. Jai Shree Mataji. There are no questions on YouTube, Bhaiya.
ठीक है, let's go to Siddhi. Thank you so much, Shree Mataji, for today's session and your blessings. We'll close the session now. Jai Shree Mataji.